Not for the first time this season, and Declan's left a little bit frustrated last week with no game at the end of it. But looking forward to Saturday now in Harrogate.
Yeah, it's been a long break with the week off, but we've had a few days off and some good days training, and now we're ready to go.
And it ends up being a good mix, doesn't it? As in, I suppose you get a couple of days here or there to rest any aches and things like that. But other than that, it's hard at it on the training field.
Yeah, like a few people last week would have had a few niggles going into spending more game, but we've had a lot of time off, and they've had a lot of time with Josh to get some treatment, and we're all ready to go now. Yeah. So.
And what are your thoughts going into this one? Because obviously both teams in really good form, and Harrogate in with a great shout of the title. It's going to be a good contest.
Yeah, they're a good team. You know, we've already played them once away, drew 2-2, but we look forward to playing anyone at home. You know, we know about the record at home as much as the fans do, and we look forward to playing in front of the crowd.
And what's been the basis of that, do you think? Because obviously the lads playing at Agro are playing with confidence. You mentioned the support there. Is it just all of those things coming together?
Yeah, big factor for the fans get behind us, and I think the people know how good we are at home, and they're scared in a way, but it's up to us to make sure that we're on job and we set the tempo.
I know obviously it isn't a complacent group, but how do you stop that from creeping into your game, especially when you're playing at home? Your results have been so good, but especially against a team like this, you can't afford any of that, can you?
Yeah, no, I think it's to do with ourselves really. You know, where we've got the right characters in the group to make sure it doesn't get complacent, and if it is, then people ain't scared to tell us that we are.
Have you been impressed with how the season's unfolded as well? Because you've got yourself a real share of the action now, coming up against teams wherever they are in the table. You get a good battle, don't you?
Yeah, well, they're all hard games in this league. Everyone provides a good test, and like you seen with Curzon the other week, they're near the bottom of the table, and we scored in like the 80th minute, and it was a really hard game. But yeah, like playing in the league, and you just need to keep on winning.
What about yourself at the moment? Because we had Crosby in not so long back, and he talked about the dynamic between you and him and how he's enjoying playing in that. How is it from your point of view?
Yeah, it's good. You know, we got relationships all over the pitch. It's not something that just happens. We do work on it in training and that, and you can see through the team that we're really fluid with how we play.
And that's going forward and doing the positive stuff, but also taking responsibility and putting a shift in and doing the ugly bits as well.
Yeah, you got to mix it up, and I think we've shown that the last few games, and especially the Curzon game away, we had to dig deep to get that result, and I think you can all see that.
Do you find the squad's in a good place as well? Because much like you had to wait for your opportunity early in the season, if you like, you've got the likes of maybe Bradders coming off the bench in recent weeks, now looking forward to hopefully doing the same thing, really.
Yeah, everyone's getting back to fitness now, and like you see with the bench in our last game, it was really strong, you know, so we know we've got quality, and everyone has to train sharp every day to make sure that we're in the team.
Just a final word on Harrogate. You mentioned the 2-2. It was a late one, wasn't it, for both teams really, but a good contest that one.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we both going at it towards the end. It was a bit like a basketball match, but yeah, showed great character that game. They scored in the 90th minute, if I remember right, and we still managed to get down there and score as well.